Hey everyone, I'm Jeff Sheets. Welcome to this licks episode of TrueFire's Guitar Shed. We've got 3 top melodic rock licks for you to check out. These licks come from the educator's full courses that you can find at TrueFire by following the links below. We've got Andy Timmons, we have amazing licks from Neil Zaza and Angus Clark to follow those up. So the first lick is coming from Andy Timmons, and here he's going to show us how to use tapping harmonics to come up with a really cool melody.
Okay, for lick number 8, we're going to be in Beware Dark Days again, and this is in the key of C sharp minor. And this is some melodic artificial slap harmonics. Okay, so for these harmonics, I'm calling them artificial slap harmonics. It's kind of like you're tapping a note an octave above the note that you're fretting, but you're not fretting the note, you're kind of slapping it. So that's hence the term artificial slap harmonic. And I'm in the key of C sharp, so we're going to start, if you can kind of visualize that C sharp minor chord, we're going to be dealing with the first note is the G sharp. So I'm playing this note G sharp on the D string. That's in the 6th fret on the D string, and then exactly 12 frets above, you can just kind of picture the same. So you find that note. So I'm just exactly mirroring with my middle finger. I'm not fretting, not that kind of tapping, but it's the slap, and that gets that upper octave harmonic to leap out. So from there, I go to the octave. If you want to find the melody here first. But I usually find that once I visualize it in the higher octave, I don't even have to think about what's going on the left hand, because it's exactly mirroring. As you noticed, I had some string noise there. And when you're dealing with this technique, muting becomes very, very important. I should also point out, I'm on the neck pickup with a fairly mild gain. Too much distortion, well, it can actually sound nice as well, but it gets harder to control because the more distortion you have, the more noise that becomes evident if you're not muting well. But even with this mild of a gain, you still need some good muting technique, and hopefully get your sleeve out of the way, right? So, and so that's happening in a multitude of ways. You can see, even as I stop talking or stop playing and start talking, my hand automatically goes into mute mode. You can see my fingers are all on deck. I want all that extraneous noise to go away. And then that's happening while I'm playing, because you've got the one note that you want to sound. So watch what my right hand does. It automatically goes on the fretboard to make sure there's no other strings ringing, right? So you've got the underside of your picking hand muting maybe some of the lower strings, and these fingers just naturally gravitate towards whatever treble strings they can get a hold of, right? Right? But this is also muting as well, so underneath the D string, I've got this index finger that's fretting the note. I've got the lower 3 treble strings, the G and the B and the E, also muting, and the thumb's going to wrap around too. So, and it's not exclusive to this particular technique. Anything with distorted guitar tone, muting becomes really, really important. Otherwise, you just have all this noise happening all the time. I'm sure you've experienced that, especially the louder the volume and the more distortion if you're playing live. So, but this is a good one to really isolate. So there, again, just mirroring the... And there's that kind of, bending from the 9th to the minor 3rd. And every now and then I'll give a little percussive, kind of punctuation. It's kind of a pickup. 1, 2, 3. Now there, I could have chosen to just to hit the note underneath it, but I love that sound of, to give a little bit of emotion and pull to that line. So I'm just sliding from the root, that C sharp, down to G sharp, the 5th of the key. So and this is a fun technique to practice and to incorporate into your playing, because you can also get into this type of idea in your normal soloing. Just for a little extra harmonic content.
Up next, Neil Zaza answers the question, can you use pedal points to create a cool melody? As a matter of fact, his answer is, yes, you can. Check it out.
Lick 26 is called shape shifting. Pedal points in certain shapes will help you create great melodies. This next lick deals with one of the things that I do so much in my playing, which is actually basing some melodic content off of just plain chord shapes. I think it's a very useful thing, and I think it's a very easy thing, as you'll see right now. So for instance, this riff is in the key of E, so we have just E. So I view a nice chord shape as just these three for E major. So while we keep that chord shape as a nice anchor, all I'm going to be doing is adding some chord tones, just going up the scale. So, but if you keep things sort of ringing through, it adds a nice little effect. So take a listen. Keeping that E as sort of a pedal point and ostinato point. But again, just always based around that shape. So then what I'll do is I'll shift into another E major shape, which is right there. So it's going to, from the beginning. And even these little flourishes at the end. They hit the primary E major shape. So let's do it slow. 1, 2, 3, 4.
We've got one more melodic rock lick for you to learn, and this comes from Angus Clark, where he shows you how to follow the chords to keep the melody going.
Lick number 45 is called Play a Melody. Here again, I'm on a descending major chord progression. There's not too much opportunity for blues licks in it. And if you got the time to work your solo out, you can come up with a separate melody just for the solo section. I'm using motivic development here. It's a descending motive across the chords. And then at the very end, I do squeeze in a pentatonic lick. It lets you know there's a guitar player in the room. Let's check it out. So on this lick, I'm working through this progression, which is one of these, classic descending bass line progressions, like straight out of A Whiter Shade of Pale or Since You've Been Gone, which was a hit for Rainbow, but written by Russ Ballard. And I'm just working my way down one string, which is something I like to do. It's just, I don't know, it visually guides me through what I'm doing. And I'm basically hitting chord tones with, again, a motive in between, so it becomes a melody. And you come up with something like this when you're working on a track to make a signature solo. Brian May talks about working on Queen solos, and he when he's reviewing them, he's always like, oh, well, you can tell this is a signature lick because it includes something that I don't ordinarily do, but I obviously figured out how to do it in order to make it work with the chords. So that's what this lick is. And the motive is... And I just repeat that going down the scale. And then when I get to the end of it, I change it so that I land solidly on a good chord tone. And then from there, I play a bluesy pentatonic lick, which again is where I'm working some guitar back into something that's otherwise, very classical sounding. So just to see, and that lick is right here. Pretty stock guitar lick. So you put it all together, and slowly that lick is like this.
That wraps up this licks episode of TrueFire's Guitar Shed. Remember, you can follow the links below to find the full courses if you want to learn more licks like these. I'm Jeff Sheets. Remember, keep working out in the shed.